Hello, all you beautiful people. I am Mrs. Realistic. Welcome back to the channel. Ren and Money Game Part 3 are out. I had no clue because, as usual, I'm out of the loop. So thank you to all of you for giving me the heads up. And without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, is that Ren? Oh, I wish I could do that. Ugh. Oh, that's pretty sick. I like that. I love these lives. This is awesome.
Tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate.
This kind of sounds like a certain person who started Facebook, doesn't it? Or maybe a certain person who started Microsoft. I wonder if that's what he's drawing on here. Very interesting.
His income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of...
There's a book that good old BG has behind him on one of his interviews, and it says something like how to manipulate data. I can't remember the title of it, but I think that's what he just said, isn't it?
wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket.
That's because all of those people are protected. Now, I mean, he could be singing about so many different people here, but let's be real. As he's growing up, his dad keeps telling him, no, it's not enough. No, you're doing this. Well, but you're not doing this yet. It's just that constant greed, that need to feed that greed. It's never enough. You're never important enough. You're never rich enough. You're never famous enough. Like I've said before, once you get a taste of that power, I think all your scruples go out the window. Any soul that you had is bought and paid for or can be bought. This is how these things come into play. None of this kind of stuff would happen if it weren't for greed.
Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket. "35, he gets a call. I'm sorry, son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack. I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion, heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
This is so well done. Even though his dad was sort of emotionally abusive, he still now has been devastated by the death of his dad, and all that money that he had can't help him walk again. So really, what was it all for?
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41 he wasn't walking, 42 not walking quickly, 43 never running round the pavements of his city, 44 inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Cut the music.
I don't think that could have been said any better. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. And that's what happens when these people get to this point. Human life and conscience doesn't matter anymore. It's just not there anymore. He's probably never had children. Now he doesn't have family, but he's got this big, beautiful house and nobody to enjoy it with, just all of the regret. And he's right, you know, your perspective totally changes at that point, because you realize that it's all well and good when you're young and healthy and the party never ends. And then once you throw that stick into your spokes, and you get turned over onto your head, you realize what truly matters. And by that point, it's too late.
This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy, community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution? Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive with parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface and consume till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise. "45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
There's got to be a part 4 now. Whew. This is a special person. It is so different from things that you hear now. And he's right. If we didn't teach children to be part of the herd, that's what's being taught right now in schools. Follow the herd. Don't think for yourself. Don't question anything. Put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me. So you're teaching them that money will always matter more. I think he's able to view things through a lens a lot different than people because he knows what he missed out on and he knows what is actually important. Because at the end of the day, I don't think that there is any amount of money that can replace a healthy body, a healthy mind, and friends and family. And that is something that is being phased out in this society. They always say it takes a village to raise a child, but really we're left on our own after our children are born to fend for ourselves and hope that we don't go nuts in the process. Those of you lucky enough out there to have close family members, keep them close and tell them how much you love them every day, because there are so many people who are completely alone and have no support system. So we're losing sight of what is really important, and that's so unfortunate because that affects our entire society. And I think that's why we are seeing the craziness that's going on today. It's like the very beginning of this song, mine, mine, gimme. Everybody's out for themselves. And yet I don't think they realize how good it feels to do things for other people and how much more whole you feel as a person. Ren is doing that in part by giving back to people with his amazing music, with his spoken word, with his rap. I'm assuming this was just filmed. I don't know if he's still in Canada or if he's back in the UK now, but he looks fantastic. He looks healthy. So I pray that is the case. Thank you for joining me, all of you renegades out there. I just love Ren's music. I will never get tired of listening to it. So if you like what I do, please give me a thumbs up and a comment down below. Have a wonderful day. And as I always say, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.